Tonight, on Be Something Wonderful, how to move in your imagination the Neville Goddard way. I am your host, Tom Kieran, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I got an email from one of our subscribers this morning. It said, Tom, I need a little guidance on when should I take action. And I've heard you point to inspired action. I've heard other spiritual teachers talk about inspired action. But I don't know the difference. I took action. I sent a text to my specific person or my SP, and things got worse. So how do I know when to take action? Well, guys, we're going to unpack that tonight and more. Let's talk about what Neville says, Neville Goddard. When Neville talks about action, he's not talking about action in the 3D world. He's talking about movement. Where's the movement? Mental movement. Where does that happen? In your imagination. That's what Neville's talking about, right? He points to scripture when he talks about this. He starts with Genesis, and he says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. What's heaven? That's the within. What's earth? That's the without. And then what did God do? God moved. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. That's the movement. In your imagination. Where are you moving to? Towards your desire, to your fulfilled desire, to your wish fulfilled. You're imagining your wish already fulfilled. You're imagining yourself being the person, already being the person that you want to be. And then how do you know you've moved? After you imagine it, how do you know you moved? You know you moved because you view the world now from that new state. If after you do your imaginal act and you view the world like you formerly did, from that state that you wanted to move up from, then you haven't moved. You've got to be viewing the world from that higher state. You've got to be viewing the world from that dimensionally larger you. This is big tonight, right? So Neville says, you can move on the outside many times and not change. You must move within and view the world from already being the person you want to be. Hear this, right? You can move plenty of times on the outside world, in the 3D world, but unless you move within and view the world from already being the person you want to be, you do not move to that new state. You get stuck in that current state, in that lower state of consciousness that you want to move from, right? Here's where he says, your assumptions, conscious and unconscious, direct all thought and action to their fulfillment. Hear this. So you're going to take action, but you're not taking action from that 3D you, from that lower state of consciousness. You're taking action. You're being moved by that dimensionally larger you. You're being moved by that God within you. That's different. Hear this, guys, right? He says this, all that befalls you, all that is done by you happens, done by that dimensionally larger you. And he goes on to say that everything happens automatically because he brings up these questions that a lot of people question him and goes, well, I feel like I got to do something. What should I do? And he always says, absolutely, what should I do between the imaginal act of my wish fulfilled and the fulfillment? And he always says absolutely nothing. Why does he say that? Because you don't have to do anything. That 3D you need not do anything. You will be moved. All thought and action will be moved to that fulfillment. All things will happen to move you to your desired wish. And then you'll be viewing the world from that new state, right? That new state now must become your dwelling place, right? If you move to your wish fulfilled and then move back to that current state, then you're like in scripture in the book of James, where they refer to the double-minded man, right? The double-minded man cannot suppose that they'll receive anything from God, right? You're just like getting flopped around by the wind, right, on the ocean, right? This is what they're talking about. The double-minded man going back to that state, that current state, not holding that state of wish fulfilled, you cannot expect to receive anything from the Lord. That's what they're talking about there. So that it's that dimensionally larger you that's moving you, right? And he always talks about free will. When he talked about free will, the reason he says that you don't have free will, the only free will you have is to make that choice. that choice of your desire, that choice to be that person you want to be, that choice to have what you want to have. After that, you do not have free will. Why? Because you're moved by God. You're moved by that dimensionally larger you. Though, if you try to take action in the 3D world, if you try to force things, if you try to make something happen, right? If you want to do something, that all is based on fear and doubt. When it's based on fear and doubt, that is that action in the 3D you. That's why it doesn't work. That's why things get worse. Hear this. That's why when you sent the text, it wasn't the dimensionally larger you saying, hey, send that text. That was the 3D you fearing that you needed to do something, doubting that it's going to happen. Remember, when you doubt yourself, you're doubting God. Right? So you've got to move like God did. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. The double-minded man is unstable in all ways. If you're sending text and you're doubting it, you're unstable in all ways. Right? You've now got to view the world from that new state. When you do, you will be moved by the dimensionally larger you to the materialization, to the manifestation of your desire in the 3D world. It's law. That is how to move in your imagination the Neville Goddard way. I am your host, Tom Kieran, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos, comment if you could on the videos, always love those, and hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, and Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kieran, our website at tomkieran.com or besomethingwonderful.com, or write me anytime at info@besomethingwonderful.com. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, with great love, this is Tom. See you soon.